Just waiting for some people to join the live stream here. I am in Nova Scotia, in Sydney, Nova Scotia, at the very northeast tip of Nova Scotia, where we currently have a hurricane warning. Ooh, loud guess. Yeah, loud guess. It's kind of early in the morning here. We're 2 hours ahead, Atlantic time. But we'll wait for some people to join here before we start discussing what's happening today, what my plan is for the day. Strong winds already starting here in Sydney. So this is looking back, this should be looking back to the east, southeast, towards where Fiona will be coming from. See the flags back here are really ripping. And we're still a long ways away from this storm making landfall here in Nova Scotia. So today is late tonight into early Saturday morning is when we're expecting Fiona landfall here in Nova Scotia. And we have hurricane warnings up here in the Sydney area all the way down towards Halifax. I think Halifax is even in the hurricane warning now. So they are hoisting up those warnings. It looks like we will get that strong storm, possibly Category 2 storm, make at landfall coming into Nova Scotia tonight into tomorrow morning. Yeah, Newfoundland will definitely feel the effects of this one. It'll be on that right side. So the strongest part of these hurricanes is that right of center, that right quadrant. Now this is going to be a big extratropical low, so it's not like a hurricane that you get down in the Gulf of Mexico, down in the southern states of the United States, where you get this real small in comparison, tightly compacted, strong winds with a big eye that comes across like a bowling ball. This thing is more like I don't even know, it's like a medicine ball coming rolling through here, gonna hammer Nova Scotia likely with strong winds, hurricane force winds, so 100+ mile/hour winds, and lots of rain. Probably have some flooding issues as well. But it's an extratropical. It'll be extratropical, so it won't have its tropical characteristics that it had when it made landfall down in, say, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and whatnot. Basically, the difference is you start getting the cooler a cold core to the storm, and it just starts looking different. It's also supposed to phase with a trough that's coming through Canada, so a dip in the jet stream, and that's going to not only steer Fiona into Nova Scotia, but also cause it to expand out its wind field to just unravel into this big monster storm, and also, like I said, steer it towards Nova Scotia and enhance it that wind field. Still be strong winds, but it'll cause the wind field to expand out and to affect a larger area. This is Sydney, Nova Scotia right now, sitting at the Hampton Inn last night. Got some rain, some dark clouds coming. But I will be live streaming through the event here throughout the day today, various points of the day. I'll probably live stream. One of the things I'm trying to do is to get I have a pressure sensor or a Kestrel weather meter to be able to read the pressure. And so I want to try and get that into the center of the storm if I can. I'm still trying to hone in on what my chase strategy is. Do I go further towards Halifax, still like Port Hawkesbury, maybe intercept it there? Maybe try and find the center is going to make landfall and plant my Kestrel weather meter in the path there, trying to get that low pressure reading, or do I stay here in the Sydney area? And I mean, this is going to be on that right side, those stronger winds, and so it should get pretty nasty here, and it's hold on, clean the camera. You got a fingerprint on it. It's going to get pretty nasty here. I had to set my coffee down, get my coffee back here. My terrible hotel coffee. It is going to get pretty nasty here in Sydney, Nova Scotia tonight. One of the problems I have now is that I've got a hurricane coming in Florida as well, and I was hoping it was going to be towards the end of next week. And I have a flight out of Halifax on Monday back to Winnipeg, so it's going to be interesting to see if I can make it to this hurricane in Florida now that has suddenly this morning the track has shifted east back to the east, curves it right into Florida, and like 3 days earlier than I was anticipating. So that's going to kind of throw a wrench in things here. So here comes that rain here. It's probably going to be raining here off and on all day in Sydney, Nova Scotia. All of Nova Scotia should expect rain all day today. Lots of moisture, tropical moisture, surging north ahead of the storm. You can see it in the clouds out here. So pretty weird finding myself here in Canada, in Atlantic Canada, chasing a hurricane. I wasn't expecting that, so I have no idea. I have no context what it's like to chase a hurricane here. This is my first one here in Nova Scotia. Chased plenty of hurricanes. I've been in Cat 5 hurricanes. I was in Cat 5. Hurricane Michael made landfall in 2018 in Hamilton City Beach area. So no stranger to hurricanes, just stranger to Nova Scotia. Well, I'm super happy to be here. I have a Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever at home. I've always been a big fan of the dogs. It's always been on my bucket list to visit Nova Scotia, so I'm just super happy to be here because of that. Hey, Briar Rose, yeah. There's a lot of, this is pretty standard fare for me with all the locals. That's all I'm hearing about when I was in the hotel getting my breakfast just a little bit ago. Everyone obviously is talking about the storm and mentioning how this could be one of the strongest storms, if not the strongest storm, lowest pressure storm to ever make landfall in Canada, even this far north. Right now it is the furthest north. The pressure reading this morning is the lowest pressure reading on it. It's just to the northwest of Bermuda. But that pressure reading this morning is the lowest on record for that far north. So it's already a record-setting storm. Should maintain that low pressure, maybe even drop another 10 millibars or so as it approaches Canada. It's picking up speed as expected. It's moving about 25 miles per hour now to the northwest. Give you guys a little look of Sydney, Nova Scotia here. Here's a gas station I got gas at. Let's see, we'll go walk up there and see how crowded they are. There were long lines getting gas last night at this gas station here in Sydney, so I've been trying to limit my driving. I don't want to use up too much gas. I know I can get back to Halifax with probably around a half a tank to 3/4 of a tank that I have in the vehicle. So I got like a quarter tank to play with here in Sydney before I need to start heading back towards Halifax in case there's no gas stations open because of power outages and whatnot. I do have cash in case I need to use cash to get gas. And I'll probably get a little bit more cash. I had to spend some yesterday. If you are in Nova Scotia, I would be preparing for power outages. Could have power outages for days here, maybe even weeks. I have no idea. You guys probably actually would know better than me, but I live in Manitoba and I know how a storm can knock out the power real easy there. But they usually get it up pretty quick there. But this is a different beast here, a different story. There's tons of trees here, tons of power lines. You know, this stuff, holy crap. Look at the line into Tim Hortons, you guys. Wrapping line, long wrapping line, trying to get into Tim Hortons this morning. Gas station isn't too bad now. Maybe they're out of gas. Everyone was just trying to get their gas done last night. If you're just finding the channel, make sure you subscribe. You'll hit those notification bells so you get alerts when I go live. I will be live. We have a pretty good group of members here and moderators that try and keep the channel nice and lively and family friendly. Doesn't mean I don't occasionally throw out a spurious cuss word accidentally due to extreme situations, but try to keep it clean here on J-Jack Storm Tracks channel. Just recently rebranded the channel, so big storm for the rebrand here. Yeah, the gas station is not bad at all right now. Things seem pretty normal here right now. I don't see any panic. Maybe a little bit of panic last night. Some guy was honking his horn, laying on his horn at me and the car in front of me as the car in front of me was turning and just waiting for cars. Yeah, I guess it is an everyday thing at Tim Hortons. Go walk down there and check it out. I think it's only $1.55 a gallon gas here. I'm just kidding. That's $1.55 a liter. Don't get too excited in the United States. Well, I think it'll be a gradual ramp up. We'll start getting winds, strong winds, and those strong winds will gradually ramp up, and they'll be sustained. I mean, I think it's going to be a stormy time here in Nova Scotia for the next, I would say in the next 10 hours, we'll start really feeling the effects of the winds. And then from that point on, for the next 24 to 36 hours, it'll probably be quite windy and stormy here. This thing will come ashore, and it's moving pretty quick, but then it'll slow down a little bit, and the models have it kind of slowing down and kind of swirling around a little bit to the north of Nova Scotia, northwest of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, over New Brunswick, and to the east, inland, and kind of organizes itself with the trough, and before then it starts moving up through the north again. But it'll immediately start weakening. We'll start getting there's the Tim Hortons now. But it'll start weakening immediately upon landfall. Even as it's approaching Nova Scotia, it'll be just because it's dealing with cooler air, cooler waters up here. So, but it still will be a significant storm. Forecast to be anyway. We'll see how that plays out. I'll be here live in it. I'm in the danger zone here already, so now it's just a waiting game. Drink some coffee, go for a little stroll here through beautiful Nova Scotia. I gotta work off all that hotel or airport time. It's a long trip to get here. I didn't think it would be so brutal to get here, but I had a 7-hour layover in Toronto, so I flew out of Winnipeg Wednesday evening at 7 and got to Toronto around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. or so, around in there, and then I had a 7-hour layover, so I just stayed in the airport and played some Civilization 6 on my laptop, a little little Disco Elysium on my laptop, and just hung out. And boarded my plane like 6 a.m. for Halifax out of Toronto, and was just about dozing off. I got an announcement that we had to deplane because of a maintenance issue. So we had to get off the plane, and then I had to walk across the airport to a different gate, and we were an hour and a half later departing. So I was in Toronto Airport from about 11 p.m. to about 7 p.m., about 8 or 9 hours sitting in Toronto Airport, and then landed in Halifax yesterday around lunchtime, around noon or so. Maybe it was like 1 p.m. Yeah, noon to 1 p.m. And hung out in Halifax, got some water, some food and stuff, some prep, some tools to prep for this chase, and then headed up towards Sydney here last night. I got up to Sydney last night and went to the Governor's Pub, got myself some poached halibut and some mussels, and then I just went back to the hotel and passed out. I was so tired. And then I would have kept sleeping, but I had set up a radio interview at 7 a.m. but just didn't set an alarm for it, so they woke me up with a call, and I woke up and jumped on that interview, all out of it. And now we're walking the block here, or the couple of blocks around my hotel, getting some exercise, get the blood clots out of my legs, drinking some coffee here. Hello, Mark from Galveston. Thought I might be in that area later next week, but it's looking like it's now gonna turn to the east. New storm next week. Another hurricane. Very early in the United States. This is the first time I've ever been in AST with them. Actually, I believe it's Atlantic Standard Time. So this is the furthest northeast I've ever been. The furthest east I've ever been in North America. That's funny. I've chased two cyclones that were originally tropical cyclone, I guess I gotta say, but I chased Tropical Storm K in extreme Southwest California. Bizarre being in Southwest California in the desert, cactus and stuff, chasing tropical storms. Well, there I was. And then now, just a couple of weeks later, here I am in the exact opposite end of the continent, North America, in Nova Scotia, chasing a Cat 2 hurricane, possibly. Cat 3 right now, but Cat 2 when it makes landfall here in Nova Scotia. So crazy, crazy times to be a storm chaser, I tell you what. And then I was hoping I was going to get a car. I got a rental car here in Halifax. Here's the Nova Scotia license plate. It's a cool license plate. I was looking forward to getting a rental car here in Nova Scotia that had a Nova Scotia plate, and I blend in like the Nova Scotians. And then what do? They gave me a rental car with a Tennessee license plate. So now everyone's waving at me because they think I'm from Tennessee and think I'm a foreigner, which I am, but kind of didn't want to be seen as that. I wanted to blend in with the locals. So that was a little unfortunate. But it's the first time I've ever seen the Nova Scotia license plates, so that's kind of cool. I'm in the process of becoming a permanent resident in Manitoba, but I am a U.S. citizen, for those that are new to the channel. Yeah, totally stick out like a thumb. Sore thumb. Here's my new Vessi shoes. They sent me these shoes. They're waterproof shoes. Perfect timing, eh? Get these shoes. But we'll see how those shoes work out. That's one of my biggest complaints chasing hurricanes. My feet get so wet. So I'm looking forward to having dry feet, but the way I chase, I don't know. I might need a full body suit. the way I chase. Yeah, I don't think Nova Scotia is an island. It looks like an island, but it's all attached. Except for Cape Breton, which has the causeway running to it. Now that's an island. But the mainland part of Nova Scotia is not an island. That's all attached to, like, I saw there's vehicles here. How do you think the Tennessee vehicle got here? Just drove across the land to get here. I saw a Massachusetts plate vehicle. It seemed like all the rental cars were United States plated for some reason. So Manitoba is nice because it's right to Tornado Alley, man. That's my bread and butter is chasing tornadoes. So it's right there in the prairie. Got the Turtle Mountains right there. It's real beautiful. It's really good in the winter. It's nice in the summer for sure, and spring and fall. Is there anywhere that's nice in the winter in Canada? Maybe Vancouver. I don't know. It could be pretty nice here on the East Coast, I bet. I like winter sports. I like to ski and stuff. And I like to ice fish. But even being a lover of weather and winter, it takes a toll on me too. At the end of the winter, I'm ready to go. I would prefer like 2 months of winter, not like 6 months of winter. People are getting fired up for this hurricane here in Nova Scotia. If you're just tuning in, I am in Sydney, Nova Scotia, chasing Hurricane Fiona, currently Category 3, making its way to the northwest towards Nova Scotia. And right now in Sydney, Nova Scotia, that may change. I may adjust myself, maybe down to Port Hawkesbury. We'll just have to see. I'm just kind of playing this, watching the models and watching the path. Figure out where the best where the best place to intercept the storm will be. So it's a lot of people and city and stuff here in Sydney, so there'll be a lot happening here and a lot of safety, if you will, food provisions to fall back on and stuff like that. Might have to get airlifted out of here so I can get to that hurricane in Florida though. But one storm at a time. We'll take it one storm at a time. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. So we have a bird in hand here with Fiona bird coming this way. All right, you guys subscribe to the channel, hit those notifications. I'll be live later. I'm probably go to Louisbourg. I'm gonna go scout out Louisbourg area, I think later this morning, kind of see what it's like there and figure out what the point on the plan here. And I'll be live periodically, and definitely once conditions get nasty here in Nova Scotia, I'll be live through to the end. So thanks for joining, you guys. Thanks for all the support from Nova Scotia. Sydney, Nova Scotia, chasing Hurricane Fiona.